When I'm saying the planet also means, very concretely, our very survival. We are, all of you know it, on the edge of a climatic abyss. In fact, we have 500 days to avoid a climate chaos. If the current trend continues, the rise of temperatures may not be limited to 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius, above pre-industrial levels, but might reach 7 to 9, which means 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, which would be a catastrophe. In this context, the UN Conference on Climate Change, which will take place next year in Paris, is an absolute top priority. The goal is to achieve a post-2020 agreement that should include all countries and be legally binding. We have 500 days to avoid a climate chaos. Very important issue of climate change, climate chaos, and I said that we had 500 days to avoid a climate chaos, and I know that President Obama and John Kerry himself are committed on this subject, and I'm sure that with them, with a lot of other friends, we shall be able to reach a success in this very important matter.
Hi, it's Lyn Leahz, and I have some information for you today I just want everybody to pray about. I'm not prophesying this. I'm only telling you what I found out. I'm not saying it's for sure going to happen. I can only tell you the source that told me has always given me accurate information. He is in the know. He's retired military. Anyhow, we've been hearing so much about an asteroid hitting the Earth. And then you have Prophet Ephraim's prophecy about an asteroid or a meteor. So anyhow, I talked to my friend. Well, let me back up a little bit. I've been hearing about all these prophecies about in September a coming heavenly body. Some people say asteroid, some people say meteor, some people say comet. A lot of people don't know that there's a difference between all three of those. So back to the point, I was doing a little bit of praying while I was getting cleaned up one day, and I said, Lord, give me some confirmation on this. And a thought occurred to me, like the Lord speaking to me or the Holy Spirit, that said, call your friend. You haven't talked to him in a while. So I said, that's a good idea. So I actually picked up my phone right then and there and called him, and he answered. And so I made a little small talk. How are you? It's been a long time and so forth. And then I said, hey, do you know anything about an asteroid or a meteor or anything like that at all that's supposed to hit in September? There's all these videos by different people on YouTube, news articles. A lot of these people are unrelated to each other in their prophecies, saying basically the same thing. What do you know about this? He said, well, I don't know anything about that. So then we talked a little bit more, and that was it. So after I hung up, I thought, well, that's weird. Okay, I guess, that wasn't a thought from the Lord to have me call him because he didn't know anything. So the next day, I got a phone call from this friend, and he told me, hey, I forgot to tell you, I found out about your question in regards to the asteroid. I said, okay. And this is the information. Well, he gave me more information than this, but I'm not showing that to you. He did give me the name of it. So I went online, and this particular body heavenly body is 2.5 miles wide. It's not an asteroid, it's a comet. And according to the real-time data that were shown online, it's nowhere in even proximity to us or would even come in contact with us. So I contacted my friend again, and I said, hey, I found this on the website, and it shows real time, and it doesn't even show, you can go all the way through by date, and it doesn't show, we're far behind it. It never even shows us in a pathway of this. What's up with that? And he said, well, the information I gave you is from my friend, and this friend is in another country and I guess works in that industry that would know such a thing. And he said he would find out. I said, yeah, I need confirmation because I want to do a video on this and tell everybody about it. And so I need some sort of confirmation. So he did contact me last night and said that he spoke to his friend and did confirm it. It is this particular comet. What is being shown online is not correct, not real, not true. So that's why I'm purposely not giving you the name of it, because of that information. Okay. But so that you know, it's 2.5 miles wide. It's pretty big. Now, even if it broke up when it got into our atmosphere, it would still do mass damage. Now, here's what he said about it. Again, some things I'm not showing you on here, I've deleted. It says he's told me this is why countries are moving equipment and missiles around. They're relocating them for a path of least resistance in order to shoot at the comet. Kind of like last resort. We've got Jade Helm. Now, interestingly enough, look at this. It says he told me the expected date is September 15th through September the 28th. Okay. Now, first of all, September the 13th ends the Shemitah cycle. If you go Google the Shemitah cycle, that is when God is supposed to pour out his judgment. There's always, in the Jewish calendar, there's a 7-year Shemitah cycle. All right. Jade Helm ends on September the 15th. So we've got the expected date, September 15th through the 28th. September 28th is also a blood moon. Interesting. So those are the dates they're expecting it. He said it's an unstable orbit. I said, well, where is it expected to hit? Now get this. Okay, this guy is, he doesn't follow any of the people I follow. He doesn't even know about Prophet Ephraim's prophecy or any of these prophecies about asteroids. He tells me that it is expected to hit off the shore of Venezuela and Brazil, 200 miles off the shore. It would cause tsunamis everywhere, globally. If it does not break up and hits without breaking up, which it would, of course, break up, I'm sure, it would be an ELE or an extinction level event. That's if it does not break up. Now, even if it does break up, it's going to do some serious damage. Look at the one that hit, the meteor that hit in Russia. I think it was back in 2012 or 13. That meteor was about the size of a semi or smaller that hit, and look at the damage it did. Okay, so imagine a 2.5 mile wide comet hitting the Earth, even if it broke up in fourths. Okay, it would do some serious mass damage. So then he points out that we can also confirm this through our heavy earthquake activity. He said we also had 2 new islands rising out of the Pacific, which I have those links pulled up to show you. More volcanic and earthquake activity. He says since 2010, our activity has increased by 200%. Then I have the video for this that is going to be in my article I'm writing on this. Okay, I can't show it to you in my video because of, copyright things. So anyways, it shows these guys testing out the geyser at Yellowstone, and it has risen 6 to 8 inches. All right. These are signs of gravitational pull. He said, approximately a year before you have a heavenly body that's headed toward our Earth before it hits, you will have an increase in magnetic activity, such as earthquakes, volcanoes, and so forth. Okay, so these things confirm that. And I've also got links for that pulled up to show you. And as a side note, he told me that in Australia, they have a program, a meteor watch program. It's called the Wormwood Wormwood program or something like that. I've got that pulled up. I'm sorry, I'm not being specific with the name right now, but they're watching for comets, meteors, and asteroids. And he told me the Vatican owns it. Now, if you go look at it, it looks like the government of Australia owns it, and I'm sure they do, but the Vatican somehow has their dibs in on it as well. So this is all very interesting information. So just think of Jade Helm and think of what's going on in Canada with Maple Resolve. And then you've got different places like the UK has been brought in and so forth. And then you've got the Ukraine that's being brought in on this. This is a global effort. What we're looking at is the economy crashing. I believe the economy is going to crash first before this comet were to hit. So first you're going to see the destruction of the economy. Then you're going to see the comet hit. Now, I could be wrong of that particular order, but if I compare things to the Bible and the prophecies that are being shared and the Shemitah, okay, so this comet is supposed to hit between September the 15th to September 28th. We've got the ending of the Shemitah cycle on the 13th. That means the economy will take its biggest nosedive right after the 13th. So all this is going to happen kind of all at once, and it's going to send us into a huge tailspin, into a mess to where we're going to have the establishment of the one world government system. Now here's the other thing, okay? I'm just trying to think of how to say this. This is not wormwood. All right. This would be kind of what you would call a bookend event. What I mean by that is this event would be necessary to throw us into the start of the tribulation. Now, I'm not saying the tribulation is going to start right then and there immediately. The tribulation might not start until March of next year. Okay. If this happens, it's going to throw us into that. That's what it's for. And then, as we know, the ending of the first 3.5 years of the tribulation and the ending of the last 3.5 years ends with some very catastrophic events. So this would be an event that would just throw us into those things. And if you think about it, if a comet were to hit, and I've pulled up some information on that, it would cause so much dust. It would black everything out. It would kill plants and animals and life. And it would cause a nuclear winter, just like the Bible talks about, happens in the end times. And there's the passage about something like a mountain being tossed into the sea. Well, where did he say this is supposed to hit? He said it's supposed to hit 200 miles offshore in the ocean of Venezuela and Brazil. Now, that is in the same general area that Prophet Ephraim is prophesying. Okay, so I just want us to pay attention to this. I know that this seems so huge and so unreal. It's something we don't really think about happening. We think about tragedies that we see happening on the news. We know that there have been comets, there have been asteroids, there have been meteors that have hit even in our time. Like I mentioned the one back in 2000, I think it was 2013, the one that hit over in Russia. Okay. And look at the destruction it did. But this just isn't something that we deal with or think about. We think more of the here and now. So I know this seems very unreal, but do keep in mind we are living in the end times. The book of Revelation is unfolding before us. I bring this to you because this is what I was told. I am not saying that it is for sure going to happen. I'm telling you what was told to me. All I'm doing is bringing it to you so you can prepare and that you can pray about it. Let's look at this information with an open mind and let's be watchful and be prayerful. Thank you.